Welcome to another episode of What I Learned from Bobby Hemmit. This is to answer a question. I'm making this audio to answer a question. Someone asked me to explain the end of the video about Jamie Foxx mantra. I don't know their exact question, but I think I have an idea. In the video, I said that you need to use high emotion when you want to, when you have a goal or you want to do alchemy. So what that means is two things. I'm going to tell you the good part and the bad part, the person with good intention and the person with destructive intention. Or what the elite do. What these crazy elite psychopathic people do. So basically when you're using the law of attraction, in one way you're using the law of attraction because when you want to put your intention on something, which is just your thought, which is just your subconscious mind, that's you can't fool yourself, okay? We fool other people, but your soul knows how you really feel. So you can't fake it to yourself, your spiritual self. You can look in the mirror and fake it. You can dress nice on the outside and fake it. You can smile and pump yourself up. But your subconscious mind is what's going to be the truth. So, when you want something, a goal, a dream, you have to be in a high vibration, or you should be in a high vibration when you think about your goal or write your goal, period. That's it. Or take action steps about your goal. You need to be in a positive high vibration. You need to believe in it. You know? You need to believe in it. Now, if you want, the same thing goes if you're trying to do alchemy on somebody. You can't just copy somebody. Like you look at a YouTube video, you have to know that it works or it won't work. You have to understand the science of the numbers. Then you could use the numbers. I mean, that's how the numbers are going to work. Now, that's just it. But another thing is that because we're in the material world, you usually need to maybe do a couple of things, because these elite people, they're doing curses on these celebrities like crazy. The wax museum that they have, when they recreate the body of the celebrity, a life-size body of the celebrity, they do rituals and voodoo and hoodoo using that wax figure. You didn't even know what they got inside the wax figure. But it's not pure wax. Obviously, they're using wires and stuff inside to keep it strong. But I learned that from another YouTuber, that they're using that as a form of, voodoo, a spell, a curse. So let me just put that aside, okay? You have a goal in your life. You need to believe in it. And you need to, you're supposed to Know that it's true. Know that that's what you can do. Know that it's reachable. I mean, if you want $1 million, you got to believe that you can have it, but you have a way that you can get that money. And you need to be happy and content and do things that make you happy. Like, you make the intention and then just get yourself in a good mood and make the intention. Like, if you like to walk your dog, okay, while you're walking your dog, you think about the goal or whatever that you like. You like to ride a bike, you like to skate, you like to go to the beach, whatever. You like to do art, drawing, and then you want to one day be an artist or make a book or something. Do something that puts you in a good mood, and then think about your intentions then. Now, in order to curse somebody, you just have to know that what you're doing works. You have to know subconsciously that numbers are formulas. And when I use these numbers, something's going to happen. It's not going to happen right away unless you're really practiced at doing this. It's not going to happen right away, but something is going to happen, and every once in a while you think about it again. Not all the time though. Just every once in a while the reason why you need to create a physical object so that the energy of your intention is on that object, and because we're in the physical world. So, that's why you use physical objects. You get the paper bag because it's natural. You should try to use natural objects. You get the paper bag. You get symbolic things. If you want a red candle, you pour the wax to represent whatever you want it to do, or to represent a seal, to hold something down, because that's what wax does. All you have to do is think about, what does the material object do? If I make a knot, what am I doing? I'm holding something together. But what intention do I want to put on it? Positive or negative? Do I want to hold somebody down, or do I want to positively keep somebody together, keep the bond and whatever? All right, so that's another point. And point number 3 now is the level of the beast. Oh, let me finish saying something. You got to understand the numbers, believe the numbers. That's how you can use your mantra. Okay? You look up the code for a word that you want to impose that energy on somebody, and you write it on something that they're going to have, or that you have of theirs. That's it. It's not, you don't give them a note that has these numbers on it. They're going to be wondering, why are you giving me this with numbers on it? You do it discreetly, obviously. You do it without them knowing. Or, like, if you're going to put it on something they have, you don't tell them. You write it in their clothing or something. It depends. A lot. What I'm talking about is toward beast people. So you don't have close proximity with them. So I'm not talking about that kind of thing. But you just put your intention. You could write it on a paper. If you get their photo, or you draw their picture, draw something that symbolizes them. Another thing is you can look up symbols and use symbols. All right, so now the thing about what the elite do. I don't like to talk about really gross. I mean, this is not even gross. This is the level of, I don't want to say evil, because evil actually means the balance at the beginning, because Eve is the beginning and El is God energy. Eve means even. L is God energy. So the evenness of God energy. And then that's why the female was called Eve. So it's a form of Ma'at as well. But I don't like to use that word because I know what the occult meaning is. Evil is good. And Eddie Murphy said that in Vampires in Brooklyn. He said evil is good. And they're right, because evil, what you've been taught as evil, is the science of the universe. So let's put that, whatever you see in horror movies and stuff, there's truth to those things. But they just turn it into some bloody mess. But there are elements of ingredients for alchemy in those horror movies, like using blood because it's your melanin. So anyway, let's put that aside. I hesitate to say these kind of things because I don't like having, the mind is a sponge, and the stuff that you should be careful what you put in your mind, because the beast has put garbage in everybody's mind. The most absurd debauchery is normalized. I don't want to get into listing it, but what I want to say about what they do to use high energy, first of all, they come from the lowest energy. Their energy comes from the lowest vibration. If you looked up the scale of emotion, which are frequency levels, at the top you're going to have bliss, happiness, satisfaction, contentment, peace. Down at the bottom, you're going to have anger, distress, depression, jealousy, vindictiveness, that kind of thing. Well, vindictiveness, I wouldn't put that there because sometimes you need to be vindictive. But you have lower emotions, low vibration emotions, and this beast, what most people, only if you're on the 1,000-watt Bobby Hemmit frequency, you know that the beast is a murderer. They are a murderer, a thief, and a psychopath. And a psychopath covers everything. They are how do you say it? An egomaniac, something like that. And they are always jealous of somebody else. Like, they're always jealous of somebody else. That's why the entire world is under slavery, because they don't share. And I'm putting that in kindergarten language, but it's out of ego. It's out of not coming from the seed of creation and balance. So they're out of balance. So a balanced person knows that nature has abundance for everybody. The opposite of that is someone living in lack or thinking that they need to compete with other people and everything has to be theirs and none for you. That is the mentality of the beast, as well as what else? Not being able to relate to somebody. Like, they have to have a reason to relate to you, know you, talk to you. beyond work. They see other people as a utility. They are only users. They are only users. Everything has to be a use. That's why we are drowning in a money system that makes you pay for living, existing. You right now, I've seen apps, or I've heard about apps that you pay for having a friend. So anyway, I still didn't finish answering. Okay, I'm going to do it indirectly of what the elite do. I already told you their nature is totally degenerate. Any foul, degenerate thing you could think of, that's what they're into. I mean, what is it? SMD? SMD? Where you're hitting the person or inflicting pain on somebody while you're intimate with them? I mean, what kind of shit is that? That's become normalized, like it's fun, but it's stupid. It's their nature, though. But think about what gives you a... They use a lot of X. A lot of XX. So they could... That's what can give them a high emotion. Because they really don't... They have very little emotional level. So... And they have an addictive behavior. So they use XXX to feel something. And a lot of times their little thing ain't working anyway. So they have to take Viagra to stimulate that physically, not from your heart, not from your heart or being with somebody, just that, whatever the Viagra does. It makes your thing straight and hard without you doing anything. And then your thing stays straight and hard afterwards too. After you're done, your thing is still straight and hard. So it's, obviously I know I have experienced that, or at the time I didn't know, because girls are not spoken to about men, and it's a shame. At the time I didn't know. It took years later for me to wake up and realize that the person was doing that. So anyway, killing gives them a high. Pain, inflicting pain on others, gives them a high. Sexual debauchery gives them a high. And part of alchemy is using, I don't want to say this, but you know what? I'm not going to say anything else. So whatever byproducts of those things, they use that. Because that was the energy from a high emotion, even though it was a negative, low, degenerate, Frankenstein, murderous. Well, I'm not necessarily murderous, but psychopathic negative intention. So, this part that I'm talking about, the XX, I'm not going to get more explicit about that. So to summarize what I'm saying, the topic was be in a high emotion for what you want when you want to make your intention. Now, if you're doing something positive, that means just be in a positive mood while you're thinking or doing or taking action for your goal, dream, hope, or something good that you want to happen. But on the other side of that, the middle ground is if you need to do it toward the beast, you need to know the science of it. The science of using the numbers and the science of using symbolic images, or not just images, but symbolic things, and the reason for using natural things. You use a natural brown paper bag, or you use dirt or a rock or wood, just because that came from nature. Okay? If you can, that's what you use. Now, the psychopathic side, to summarize, the psychopathic side, what makes them a psychopath and what gets them excited, that's what they use. So when they kill, murder, cause pain, or do a degenerate XX action, that is what puts them in a high emotion. Bringing pain to others, bringing pain to innocent people, even down to the level of children. And murder brings them pain. Murder brings them a jolt. Killing brings them joy. They do it for sport. And that is the most barbaric thing you could ever think of. But it's normalized. To go hunting is normalized. So what I'm saying, the behavior is the evidence. You might think, oh, what is she talking about? They're not killers. They're not killers or something. Boys and girls, the problem with society is that you don't apply behavior to a pattern of who the person is. If somebody likes to hunt, they are a natural born killer. And we're not talking about tribal people that do it for food. We're talking about people that go around and shoot majestic animals and birds and ducks and quail and just majestic divine animals for fun. So that ends another episode of What I Learned from Bobby Hemmit. And, I'm just putting things out there in the universe. Putting things out there in the universe. This was a question somebody asked, and I dare to answer it. I don't know who asked a question, what person they are, but pretty much I've never been asked a question, so I wanted to go ahead and answer it. Now, when you're new, like the things that I told you, I understand the science of it. I understand the science of it because I've just learned over time. And it's only recently that I've decided, you know what, I'm going to write something down. I'm going to write an intention down. I'm going to put a curse on somebody. And the only people I'm cursing are beast people. And I will say, you have to practice it. You have to believe in your own superpower. And I will say that it has had some effect. something in that person's life got affected in the way that I intended, but not to completion because I was at level 10. And actually, level 10 did happen to somebody. Level 10 did happen to somebody. The other person, I probably should have thought about them more. But as I'm talking, I'm going to remind myself to review what my intention has been for some certain people. But you're not supposed to overthink it. You know that it's going to get done, and that's it. So that ends another episode of What I Learned from Bobby Hemmit, the end. And I will make this all maybe black screen.